let's do the next Just Flying episode, shall we? Yeah, taking the Yak. We'll go for a little ride in that today as we continue up Highway 1. And we'll be leaving from here at Kaikoura. Then a bit further up the coast is Parikawa airstrip. That's where we'll be going. Wind is slightly favouring the direction we want to go, so that's good. So let's get going. We're up, and as usual with the Yak, no idea what I'm doing. I do keep promising myself that I will read the pilot operating instructions one day, but one day. So the reasonably short trip up to Parikawa, which is, well, now hold on, let me check. Don't want to be lying to you, that's the job of religions. So doing the calculations, and the distance is slightly less than 500,000 lasagnas. 497,823 end-to-end lasagnas, according to my maths. But of course there is a margin for error on the lasagnas depending on which end of the runway you take the measurement from, but it's near enough for a rough calculation. And under 500,000 lasagnas, that isn't too far really, is it? Anyway, possibly hit a new high score for laziness this morning. I've got a container of powdered milk, which is there for in case of emergencies and I run out of real milk late at night or something. Then I've got the powdered stuff, which keeps me going until I can get to the shop. Now, I keep that in the same cupboard where I keep my jar of coffee, and making myself a drink this morning, I do actually have milk, but decided, you know what, I really can't be bothered walking a whole 2 steps to the fridge to get it. I'll just put a spoonful of the powdered stuff in my drink instead, as that's right in front of me and I don't have to move anywhere. Wasted effort going to the fridge, but talking of wasted effort, or wasted time anyway, you may know I've been watching some old and terrible sci-fi movies lately. 50s and 60s things, but running out of those and moving on to later stuff now. This week I got to see a 1978 offering called Star Crash. And holy crap, that was bad. It even had David Hasselhoff in it. That's how bad it was. No, really, David Hasselhoff was actually in this film. The plot, acting, special effects, put it this way, if you are a parent and something happens where you feel the need to discipline a child for something they've done, may I recommend that you make them sit down and watch Star Crash. I feel fairly certain that the kid will never do the same thing again after knowing that being made to sit through the entire Star Crash movie is now on the list of consequences for their actions. It could rate as child abuse, but sometimes the ends do justify the means. So, something I did see on the map as we're not too far away now. Along Highway 1 there are places you can stay or rent out for a day or two, including the Beachfront Cottage. Beachfront Cottage. Now, is this just me? I'm finding the name Beachfront to be a little optimistic when you have to climb a fence, cross a railway, and then hack your way through 50 or 60 metres of quite dense scrubland, all before you get to the beach. Yeah, I'm struggling to call that one a beachfront cottage. Yeah, it's down there somewhere. Possibly one of those little white marks. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, as for a slightly better thing along Highway 1, there is a spot a bit further up the road where you can pull over, as we did when I was on my coach trip here. The place you pull in, it overlooks some rocks where the local seal population come ashore, climb onto the rocks there and have a sleep for a little while. Don't know if it's always like that for numbers, but there were certainly loads of them when I was there. Quite cute, really. Well, cute from a distance anyway. Not that there is an obvious way down to the rocks, but I was going to imagine if you did get close to a wild seal or sea lion, they would probably stink of fish quite badly. Never done it, so I've got no idea if that's true, but that's always been a thing that I've guessed about them. Probably penguins too. Although I can't say much about having an aroma, because I'm pretty sure I do smell of garlic right now, so yeah, no, never mind. And just set me thinking, mentioning seals and sea lions. I'm going to have to look this up after we land, as I'm curious. What is the difference between a seal and a sea lion? They do look fairly similar, I think, and I'm assuming they're from the same evolutionary family. Plus, to be honest, I can't remember exactly what the coach driver said at the time, so it might actually have been sea lions on the rocks anyway, and not seals. Yeah, so how do you tell them apart? I'm going to guess it's probably not a mixture of both on the rocks, though, as like, I don't know, lions and leopards kind of thing, where the two species are competing for similar food sources, so probably don't get on with each other because of that. It'd be the same with me too. If there were two of us and one cup of coffee, I'm fighting you. There will be punches thrown if you make a move towards the coffee. Although totally annoyed yesterday with coffee, putting the kettle back into the holder while making one, I accidentally knocked the mug over and my coffee went everywhere, all over the stuff that was on the kitchen counters, some of it on the floor. Total pain in the ass to clean that up, and then of course I had to make another cup of coffee and be extra careful with that one to make sure I didn't knock it over too. Not one of my finest moments. Right, so this is Clarence River coming up here, which when we cross over it, that gives us just over 50,000 lasagnas still to go until we reach Parikawa, but that is flying. If you were travelling on Highway 1 in a car, on a motorbike, or one of those submarines with wheels that travel on land to totally take the enemy by surprise, as they would never be expecting an overland submarine attack. Yeah, you cross the Clarence River on a bridge, and then just on the right after the bridge is a local landmark which you can actually find yourself on Google Street View, of what appears to be a discarded pouch of the Uno yogurt drink. with a yellow lid, which I do believe denotes the banana flavour. Yeah, other flavours are available. There's strawberry, mixed berries, and a few others too. But yeah, until they come up with a coffee flavoured one, I've not tried Uno yogurt drinks yet. Yeah, I don't feel like that is something that, as I take my final breath, not having tried flavoured yogurt drink from a pouch, it's probably not going to be that high on my list of regrets, unlike the coffee I spilt earlier. Right then, it's Parikawa now in sight. Grass runway, but quite a long one, so shouldn't be any issues. Although I am slightly puzzled as to why it even exists. No hangars there, no buildings, a terminal or anything as far as I can make out. No major towns or anything like that close by, so I have no idea what purpose this airstrip actually serves. Unless the owner of the land just wanted a beachfront airfield after he had an argument with the owner of the beachfront cottage down the coast and wanted to show them what the phrase beachfront actually means. It could have been that, I suppose. Always a bit of a gamble flying this, as I don't know the speeds I should be flying at for approach and touchdown. Doesn't help that instead of knots, the readout on this plane is in kilometres per hour for our airspeed, and I don't know how to convert that easily into measurements which I'm more familiar with, such as lasagnas per second. But at least the airspeed indicator does have green, yellow and red arc on the edge of the dial. Quite a thin arc, so you probably can't see it in the video, but it is there, and I'll try and keep us just in the green, and fingers crossed that should do. So I'm assuming that's what the coloured arcs are. Needle in the green bit, and just like the 5-star rated shitter at Leithfield, everything is good and carry on enjoying yourself. Needle in the yellow is more like having a pet sea lion inside your house. It might be okay in theory, but you do need to keep a close eye on it in case something does start to go wrong. Needle in the red, that's kind of like a young choir boy spending the weekend alone with some priests. In other words, not a good place to be, and you probably need to get out of there as quickly as possible. Okay, so doing okay. Mind the fence. Okay, yeah, not one of the greatest ever again, was it? But, a firm landing, shall we say? Yeah, a sturdy and more positive touchdown. The phrase butter is often used with landings, but I'm going to go for, let's say the stiffness of that chip I found under my desk a few days ago, where I don't know how long it's been there, as I don't remember dropping a chip while I was eating. But enough of that, and welcome to Parikawa's slightly pointless airfield, and I'll see you again soon for another leg on the road trip. Okay, bye then.